All right. I am live. I'm waiting for a couple people to hop in here. I'm going to zoom in just a skosh. I'm going to try and keep this to half an hour. So this will not go on for freaking days, but it will go on for half an hour. And so go ahead and say hi in the comments when you get in here. I'm going to say hi right now. Hi right now. All right. So I am sorry if I sound, hi Elizabeth. I am sorry if I sound, I know hi Danielle, I'm glad you made it. I hope you're feeling better. I hope I think I sound nasally, more nasal than I usually do because I'm just like, it's that kind of runny nose thing that happens when the weather starts to shift. I'm in the middle of that at the moment. Hi Abby, hi Sarah. Abby, I hope your puppy is doing okay. So anyway, just a girl, just getting healthy. Oh my God, I know who you are. And now I can't. Just a girl, what is your real name? Because I know it. And as soon as you tell me, I'm going to be like, damn it, I knew that. Chat works on the YouTube app. Amity, thank you. I fucking knew that too, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to try and keep this to half an hour, which will bring me to about 2:33 because then I have to run and go to more fucking church meetings because that is my life now is church. Church shit. So what I was intending to do was some winter doodles, not necessarily Christmas doodles, although I can do some of those if you want me to do those. Maybe not so much other religions because I'm not quite as familiar with that, but I'm going to try and just do wintry shit. I'd like to do a video, like a little sped up video for the channel with a worksheet for you guys on these, but that may not happen until January because a lot of my December schedule is going to be taken up with December daily. So I just lost my area with the chat. Where the hell to go? Hi, Marivic. Hi, Rose. I'm glad to see you guys. So I'm going to just get going. Now, one of the things when you're doing like borders or anything in your planner where you're trying to kind of create the illusion of snow or of ice, the easiest way to remember it is that snow is smooth and ice is not. So if you want to draw snow, like imagine that this is like a box. Like if you've got like a, I don't know, like a box in your planner, like if you have like a vertical style planner or whatever, right? If you wanted to draw snow, you could draw like a snowbank like that. And then if you drew like a tree on it or something, and like you colored the background in blue and left this white, then that would look very much like snow. Now, if you wanted it to look like ice, if you kept it smooth, it wouldn't really evoke the idea of ice. So for ice, it's a lot easier to just draw some like jet. Like notice how I'm kind of letting the pen twitch a little bit because that creates the look of ice. It doesn't have to be perfect. As I have said so many times in my doodle videos, you do not have to get it perfect. You just want to get the general idea. And for snow, keep it smooth. And for ice, like if this is like business in the front and this is the party in the back, like think about it that way. If you want to think about like, you know, like if winter weather was a mullet, then that's the best way to think about it, I guess. Now, I don't generally like drawing snowflakes. I actually kind of hate drawing snowflakes. However, the easiest way to get some snowflake action on, often you just start with like a plus sign like that. Hi, Sam. You start with a plus sign like that, right? And then you just start adding to it. So an easy way to do a snowflake is to do a plus sign, then put an X and make sure that the lines of the X are shorter than the lines of the plus sign. And then you can just do this where you add like little V's of varying sizes. And the trick to really making it look snowflakey is that you kind of maintain symmetry on all sides. Like don't go all like half cocked on one side than the other. But you see how I'm kind of trying to make these little V's all look kind of similar? And that's like a basic snowflake. I fucking hate drawing snowflakes though. I will be just perfectly honest with you. Yeah, see, Elizabeth feels my pain here. It's just because they're like so much effort to try and like make them look interesting and then it doesn't really matter all that much anyway. Like, it's kind of like imagining if you were creating, do you remember when you're kids? I don't remember if any of you've ever did this when you were kids, but you take like the scissors and you cut the holes and shit in the paper after you folded it up into like a little situation. And then when you unfold it, it comes out and it's like a snowflake, except mine always looks stupid because I was just never very good at it. That's kind of how I feel about drawing snowflakes. I feel like you can just embellish them and kind of add on to them like this to sort of give you the snowflake idea. But honestly, like, they just make me grouchy. I just don't like doing it. So just put a dot. Rose is perfect. Another way that I've drawn it, because when I draw rain, usually if I'm drawing a cloud and I'm going to draw rain, I draw it kind of like this. Like I draw like, if I'm not drawing raindrops, I'll just draw like hash marks to be rain. So if you wanted to draw snowflakes falling and you wanted to be super lazy, like I often am, just draw like, imagine kind of like little pieces of popcorn, but like these things could be like little snowflakes right there. And that kind of gives you a snowy look. Now remember, this is all in theory. I live in California. I have seen snow probably, I could probably count on 2 hands the number of times I've been around snow in my life. So this is all entirely, you know, entirely theoretical on my part. Now I've drawn wind gusts before too, where you draw like these lines and you curve them out to draw wind gusts. But if you want to create like a snow flurry, then do those same little, like these guys, kind of like, it's almost like you're sneezing popcorn, but it could also be a snow flurry, I suppose, if that's what you're going for. Ah, perfect, Elizabeth. I just saw your comment. That's how I draw. This is how there's 2 ways I draw wind. I either draw it like this, which to me is kind of like an active windstorm, or like almost like a gust or a breeze is kind of how I draw that. And then this one, to me, is almost like powerful wind. If this is like whoosh, like leaves flying, and this is like knock you over, like in the movie Unfaithful. So yeah, those are kind of my windy, weathery situations. And then for like heavy duty rain, like this is one of the ways I draw rain. The other way else, I'll just draw teardrops. If I'm drawing like weathers in my planner, I'll just draw big like teardrops to represent rain, or sometimes just one ginormous fucking raindrop. Or I might draw an umbrella. I totally just burped. I'm sorry. I apologize. That is what the fuck? I got distracted by my burp and janked up my umbrella. So I do that. That's the look of the umbrella. And then I connect down to these like crevasses. And there's an umbrella for you. All right. It was a deep within my chest burp, Danielle. It may not have registered on the microphone. It was kind of one of those, that one that did not escape my mouth, but was inside. Now you know how I think about my burps. All right. So yeah, so these are some different ways to draw the weather. Now, if you want to do a border along the bottom of a page, like imagine you were doing like at the bottom of like a bullet journal or something, it's always fun to kind of draw like snow drifts, like have like kind of a line go down, but not all the way to the bottom. And then kind of like, because remember, snow when it piles up, supposedly, does not like, it doesn't sit perfectly flat, but it doesn't like go jaggedy either. And this would be a fun way. And then you could add on like little, like if you take a circle and then another circle and then like a little rectangle, there's a little snowman, you know, and you can draw like a triangle, but like imagine it's just sort of adding some jaggeds in, and you could draw a little tree. You know, happy little tree. These are just like basic little situations, but you could do a decoration on the bottom without that much work to make it like look kind of snowy and cute, you know? So that would be a fun way to add a little border. Another way that you could also add a little border is across the top, and it was just like what I was saying, by just adding some ice across the top like that. And just do that all the way across the top of your page. And if you wanted to color it in, I would suggest using like this is a Tombow number 491. It's a very, very light blue. I would suggest not even, okay, I don't know if you can see this because it is so pale. I'm going to zoom in. When you color in like ice, I would not color it in all the way. I would pick a side and kind of color along that side sort of sloppily. See how I'm just sort of, see I'm doing that to just add like that kind of touch. And then if you were doing the same thing here on the bottom, take your pen and kind of, you don't have to perfectly leave it, but just don't like along the top, but you don't have to color the whole thing in. You're adding that light blue because this light blue, you can't even see because now I'm I can't zoom back and forth, but you see you're adding it just to suggest a little bit of coolness. And then if you added like a darker blue, so this one is what, 493. For the sky, I'll do it here because it's smaller, maybe I guess here. For the sky, like along the top here, I'm super sloppy as fuck right now, but I just want you to kind of see how with just a little bit of coloring, you can really create the illusion that there actually is snow there. You see how I'm doing that? Like that's a way to create that little tiny bit of pale blue is enough to like create the illusion of coldness, which is what you want for snow or for ice, right? And again, you could do the same thing if you have this like, you know, the color here on the icicles. If you add this like blue in for the sky, it sets off the rest of it to create that look of ice like being outside. But if you don't want to put in too much dark color or whatever you're doing, the pale color is enough to really give you that sort of light sensation. All right. So now I'm going to draw some of the items that people tend to wear in the winter. I'm not going to draw a sweater because every time I draw fucking arms on anything, it looks janky. But I'm going to draw some hats and accessories and so on and so forth. So the staple beginning of any winter head accessory, I have decided, is a puffball. So to draw a puffball, I just sort of create like a circle-ish situation with like kind of wobbly edges. And then to create like a beanie, I draw down on either side, draw it down to about the same length. Then I'm going to show you this. I've shown you this in other doodling little moments before, but now notice where my pen is hitting. It's not hitting directly at the bottom of the line. It's hitting just above it. So right there, that's where my line is going. And I'm going to circle around like this and then circle around to the other side, right? And that kind of gives you that idea that this band is actually kind of up, like attached to it rather than just all one piece that you're adding a stripe to. And if you want to make it a stripy beanie, this really helps you kind of differentiate between the band of the beanie and the stripes of the beanie. Yes, Cartman beanies. The, what is it in the very South Park Christmas with like the Christmas animals and the little boy in the red poof ball hat? Yeah, that's basically what's happening here. Because then see if you add stripes for the beanie, notice that the stripes don't look the same as this. And if you want to make it like ribbed for her pleasure, you can just draw some faint lines to go around the bottom of the beanie. And that gives you a little beanie situation, right? Now, if you do the same thing for those kind of hats that like I always think of them as the hat that the little girl wears in The Witches, the one that gets like cursed into the one that gets cursed into the painting. It's like she's fucking Swedish or some shit. I don't fucking know. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. So you draw your poof ball once again. Now this time you draw your lines down and have them kind of curve in just a skosh. Right? And then you take your bottom, you take these two bottoms and you connect them like that with like a frowny face. And then from the same corner, go up and make an even deeper frowny face. And then this, I'm not going to color it in all the way, but you would want to color it in like all like dark, like I'm being super like half-assed right now, but you want to color that in dark because that's the back of the hat. And then you can add your stripes or whatever it is that you want to add to the pattern of this alleged hat. And then you draw down, and I make them like kind of squiggly looking this is my half-assed way of making it look like they're little braids, which they're not. They're just little squiggly lines. And if you really want to thicken them up, draw another squiggly going the other direction to kind of make them look like little braids. And then you add a couple more poof balls to the bottom. And there you go. Oh, I should zoom out just a bit. There's the little hat like what the girl wears in The Witches. Now to draw to draw mittens, I don't like drawing gloves with fingers because like arms, my fingers always look weird. So, but for mittens, generally you can get away with it even if you can't draw hands. So draw a nice big, like, see how it's kind of like a big J, but it's the other direction? Draw yourself a nice big J, and then from there, just draw another boot, like kind of, or like a heart that looks kind of distorted, and then do the same thing in terms of making your little band at the bottom, and that gives you a little mitten. And then to do it the other way, you draw a backwards J, or the other side of a heart, however you want to think about it, and the other side, and bring it in, and then create your little band for your mittens. And there's your little mittens. And then if you want to, you can just connect them to each other, because you know how sometimes, I guess, again, not from personal experience, those could be mitten-shaped balloons for all I can know. They give you a little mitten, and again, you can add stripes, and like, because wintry shit, if you haven't noticed, there's all sorts of fucking knit, like stripes and stars and snowflakes and shit and patterns. You can embellish the fuck out of these things with like giving them stripes or giving them like whirly-flurlies or whatever the case may be. So, like, well, I'm glad you made it in, Deborah. Lakina, I'm telling you, like, drawing, they don't have to be identical if they're doodles. Just fake it. It's cool, man. But yes, so give yourself some little mittens, little hat, and then you just want to add your little scarf, right? So to draw a scarf, this is to draw one that's not, like, you can draw like a scarf like this where you just could, like, you draw a scarf like, imagine it was like laid out on your bed. Right, this is just, I'm doing this super lazy, and then you with your stripes on it. Like, that is a simple way to draw a scarf, but ain't nobody wants to draw a scarf like that. If you want to draw a scarf that looks like it's been folded, this is where, this will also help you out when you're learning to draw banners. Watch what my pen does. So pick one side, go around, give it a nice loopy loop, go around again. So I just drew that line. It's almost like a janky looking S, right? Then take this section, draw a line down, and then trying to draw kind of the way that it's curving, kind of mirror that with the bottom line. And then here, draw that, and then draw that, like a little backwards L, and you're again trying to mirror the top line because these are pieces of the scarf. And then here, draw it down, mirror that, and then end it. And now you have a scarf that's been drawn out. And you can draw just, again, little squigglies to represent braids or whatever in the hell is at the end of scarves. I'm not a knitter, nor am I someone who wears scarves very often. And then if you're going to draw stripes, draw them down like this. And then draw them, like, you want to remember which way the scarf is facing so that you can kind of change the direction your stripes are going. And if you colored it, it would make it a little bit more obvious. But honestly, it's a doodle, so don't beat yourself up too badly about the scarf. I get really warm. Like, I'm either super cold or super warm. Like, today I'm wearing a sweatshirt or a sweater that has, like, one of those big, like, fluffy collars that's, like, kind of like a cowl. And part of me is regretting this choice because I'm feeling like I'm going through the change. Now, draw a sock. Now, I'm not talking about like a woolen sock. Not a stocking, but just like a woolen sock. So I would draw it kind of like that. My socks are janky as fuck, but I had the toe kind of pointing downwards. I just sort of curved it downwards. And the reason being is that when you hold up a sock, if it's a well-made sock, it's not going to perfectly slump down, but it's not going to sit like at attention. It's not going to be like a little sock boner. Give yourself a little like top, and then again, to make it really look like a sock, give it like the little toe, the toe area where it's like white or whatever, like the toe padding. I'm sure there's a name for it. The toe and like the reinforcement and the heel. Oh my God, I just choked on my own spit. And the heel reinforcement. And then you can again add stripes or embellishments or whatever. Like if you wanted, like looking at this to add some embellishments, you could add little stars. You could add circles. You could add stripes within a stripe. You could add fucking trees or things that are supposed to be trees but don't really look like trees. There's all sorts of things you can add. Like the sky is the limit for you know, embellishing these. As you can tell, I am almost nonplussed when it comes to extra winter embellishment. I will embellish the fuck out of anything for the fall, but for the winter, I'm like, ugh. California gets cold and kind of drizzly and windy, but there's no fun like snow or anything. So it's just like the fall at least is, you know, you can go outside and like, and not have to wear a coat, but like, I don't know. I feel like my husband has a point when he talks shit about California weather and how there's like shitty California weather and nice California weather, but there isn't really seasons. It's kind of how I feel about it too. I hate admitting that he's right. Can I doodle a snow globe? I absolutely will doodle a snow globe. So to make the actual globe, first you want to start with the bottom, because you could do it either way. You could start with the bottom or you could start with the top. If you're going to start with the top, you make your circle or whatever fucking shape you're using for the globe part of the snow globe. And then for the bottom, draw out a couple of lines like that and then a little round situation. And then this here, you can like add that. I don't know, some snow globes have like inscriptions or something on them. I'm just going to add a couple of stripes because, you know, you can generally never go wrong with stripes, right? Now for your inside of your snow globe, give yourself a little bottom, a little bottom, and then draw whatever it is you're going to draw on the snow globe. So I'm going to draw a little snowman. Why? Because it's easy. 2 circles and little hat. There's your little snowman, right? And then what I often like to do on anything, if it's going to be like you're implying that it's glass, is to give it like glasses or water glasses or whatever. Draw a reflection. So to draw a reflection, draw a line. Now you could just draw a line and leave it like that and draw a second line here. And that would kind of give the reflection impression. But if you really want to like hammer home that it's a reflection, draw out a little line like that and then follow the same curve and then just bring it in so it's a little point. And that gives you a little reflection on the glass and that, you know, makes it look like it's a glass. And then you can add like little dots or snowflakes or whatever you want to pretend that the glitter is. And then add some more of them at the bottom to imply that when they fall, they're making little piles. See how I'm just sort of stippling on some dots, and that gives you a little snow globe. And it's not that hard to draw because dots are easy. I mean, lots of dots are annoying as fuck, but yeah, it's best kind of snowflakes, dots. So that's how you would draw a little snow globe. And you can add whatever you want to it, like whatever miniature situation you want to add. If you want to draw, I drew like a New York snow globe once, and I don't remember why. I think it was for a Trader Joe's thing. Maybe it was I don't remember what it was for, but it was something for a New York snow globe, and I had to draw that. And I kind of was trying to get all fancy with like different colors of pens and shit. And it was something like this is so much more simple than trying to get all fucking fancy, which, you know, again, with doodling is sort of the modus operandi. All right, so there's a snow globe. Let's see, what else can I draw that's wintry? I'm trying to think about what all is what can I draw? Like the look of grouchiness on my face that the weather's cold? I don't even know. Like, I guess I could draw I just looked up like winter to see what other things there are. There's things like sleds and ice skates, which that should be fucking interesting. Okay, let's start with a sled, shall we? Okay, let's see if we can do this without my life sucking. So that would be the sled part, right? And then I guess you draw down the edges to kind of create the 3D situation here, I'm assuming. And then I guess because sleds are wood, what would you want to do? Like something like this with like wood boards and nails, I'm assuming. Okay, that could be a sled. I'm giving that sled props. Now then, and that, I guess, kind of like a J to give you the BJ, the below. Actually, that's not right. BS. This is the BS, the below sled J part, whatever that is. And then, oh God, this is why I should be better prepared when I come into things like this. I am fucking improvising as fuck. Okay, there's a sled. Yay! I'm not sure what I just did. I think, okay, those of you who have actually ridden on a sled before, because I am not one of those people. Does that look like a sled? Or does that look like a shoe with like spider legs attached to it? Like, please tell me, does that look like a sled? Because I've never actually ridden one before. The only thing I've ever ridden was one of those discs. Like, they're like, I don't know, it's like a disc or something, and it's like plastic and flat. It's kind of like if you took a hula hoop and melted it and spread it out. And I sat on that with my kid once when I went to my sister's during Christmas, and my ass hurt so bad. And I was like, I am not built for this kind of shit. So, okay. So, draw... Yeah, draw what? Draw a shoe with spider legs? Oh, man. Okay, well, I mean, I'm going to try and draw an ice skate, which I think is going to have similar principles. So this may look like a shoe with fucking spider legs on it. So, okay, here we go. So this is the shoe part, I guess, of the ice skate. And then I'll do the same thing. Just give it some little situations. And I've ice skated twice in my life, I think. I've roller skated a bunch more. And then I guess you add some little, like, X's to represent shoelaces. I mean, I guess that kind of be an ice skate, right? Like, this is where I'm trying to get, remember what I said before about trying to get the general idea of something? I am working from a memory of something I haven't actually had a lot of personal experience with. So, the disc. Okay, it looked kind of like this. It was like a big, flat situation, kind of like this. But then it had like a rim, like a rim job. So it was more like this, kind of. And then it wasn't completely flat. It had like a bottom. And the bottom was like slightly curved. I'm not sure if that looks slightly curved or not. But that kind of gives you that was kind of what it looked like. Basically, my ass was on a giant plastic plate with my, like, 18-month-old at the time. So that's Katie is almost 14 now. So that tells you how many years since I've ridden on anything on my ass in the snow. All right. I guess I could draw a snowboard. I don't have any idea what a fucking snowboard looks like, though. I mean, doesn't it have, like, boots on it or something? Like... Is it like this? This is turning into a shit show of massive proportions. Okay, I'm assuming that that's kind of what a snowboard looks like. And then there's usually a place for your boots. Oh no. Oh no, this is, there's some buckles for my snowboard boots. And then straps. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, I've never seen a snowboard in person in my life, ever. I'm going to give it stripes because that's what we do in the winter is give things stripes. And tell you what, I'm going to give it little dots and little stars. I'm going to decorate it like in my little fake trees. I'm going to decorate it the way I would a fucking scarf because I don't fucking know what a snowboard looks like at all. Here we go. It's a seasonal snowboard. Oh my God. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh no. Okay. At least with like, I've used ice skates. I've used this thing and I have seen in person once, I think, a sled, but snowboards, the only people I know in person, not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with snowboarding, but the only people I know in person who snowboard, for the most part, like the dudes I know who are super into it are the biggest fucking douchebags. So like, I think maybe I have like ignored any idea of snowboarding because most of the people I know who do it all the time are douchebags. Oh my God, now my nose is running again. Shit. Okay. It's pretty It's like a snowboarding scarf. Okay. Okay, so my half an hour is almost up and I have to get ready to get going to church. So I'm going to quickly give you my Cindy's Basic Snowman Primer because drawing snowman is a lot of fun. It's a lot less of a pain in the ass than drawing a lot of other things. So I'm going to give you my basic snowman rundown on how to construct if you would like to build a snowman. Okay, so one of my favorite ways to start a snowman is to start with the bottom because you want to add like hats and shit to it. You gotta, like, the head requires a little bit of work. So start with the bottom. Give yourself a nice round booty for your snowman. But don't make it like perfectly round. See how it's kind of like if you took like a circle and then kind of smushed it just a little bit. That's the bottom. I'm kind of going crooked here though, so I'm going to work crooked. Then draw yourself another one of those and that'll be your middle body. And then for your head, draw up like this, but don't draw anything else and try to decide whether or not you want to add a hat or something. So let's say you want to add a hat, right? So I'm going to draw an oval up here. I'm going to estimate how far up above the snowman I want to go. Draw some lines down, draw your big fat hat brim, which is not usually supposed to be that crooked. This is kind of like one of those little tiny little top hats that women wear for like steampunk costumes, but whatever. Connect the head there. And then if you want to do a carrot for the nose, that's why you don't want to draw up on the other side. Give yourself a nice carroty carrot and then connect. And then you can add, this is like the jankiest snowman ever. And you can add, but see how I worked from the bottom up because then I can add my misshapen hat to the top and have it look okay. You can start from the top and work down. Sometimes I only do a 2-ball snowman. I don't give him many balls. I give him just 2 balls like that. And I might do like big coal eyes. Generally my snowman eyes are super big anyway because they are giant lumps of coal. And then I might give him like a lump of coal for a nose. And then give him like some pebbles for a mouth. This is kind of a scary looking snowman, but that's okay. And give him some arms. Now notice one arm came from the center of the snowman and one arm came off from the side. That kind of perspective is, you can't see me, but I'm turning to the side. You can give him some buttons here, and that gives you this idea that he's not facing straight forward, which is what I prefer not to do. I like to always have my snowmen tilting in one way or another, in one direction or another. Another fun thing to give snowmen are scarves. So you start with the one bottom, you start with the top, you go into the top, and you don't connect it kind of like with the head. And just draw yourself kind of like some little lines there. And then make like a circle to be like the knot of the scarf. And then just draw down the rest of the scarf. And then you can add the rest of your head. And there's your scarf on your snowman. Now this is the super janky because I'm moving fast. But the trick to make a cool snowman is if the more you want to do in one area, whether it's up on top or down on the bottom, work from the opposite end. So wherever you intend to make the most detail on your snowman, start at the other side to give you time to kind of build it up, if that makes sense. All right, so it's 2:36. I have to get going. I was going to talk to you about December Daily, but I'm going to talk about that in the Facebook group tomorrow. I will put an event up later today to give you the time of that as soon as I'm waiting to confirm an appointment with someone tomorrow, and then I'll know what time. It'll probably be in the early afternoon, my time, so probably around this time it'll be in the Facebook group, and I'll put an event up so I can talk about December Daily and how I'm kind of tweaking it to suit my needs. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry this was so disjointed, but I apparently did not prepare myself well enough, and that's why you wind up with things like this. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of your day.